Hello and welcome to 10 Minutes with 10 Leaves, the podcast where we dive into short, meaningful conversations with some of the brightest minds shaping industries and ideas. I'm your host, Bhumika Arora, and today I am excited to welcome our first guest, someone truly special, Mr. Rohit Ghai, the founder of 10 Leaves. Thank you for being here with us, Rohit.
Thank you, Bhumika. I'm thrilled to be here. I guess this is the inaugural episode.
Absolutely. Rohit, let's dive straight into it. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is transforming industries across the globe. But let's break it down for an average person. How do you think AI will affect the average Joey on the street? That is, the people like you and me.
Well, let's look at how computing affected us, the same way
Mm-hmm.
mobile technology affected us. So there's something
Mm-hmm.
called incremental changes. You buy a new phone nowadays, it's mostly new software updates and maybe a few new features. But that's separate from what I call inflection points. Now, think of the time before the first iPhone and after the first iPhone. So what changed is the touchscreen, the access to internet, and that dramatically changed the way we interact with our phones. You don't go back to keys now. The kind of internet access we had before and after completely changed a lot, got in a lot more industries, social media explosion, things like that. So that's called an inflection point. So AI is an inflection point, which will fundamentally
Uh-huh.
change the way we live and work. For instance, I'll give you an example. Now, in compliance, the stage one had a human looking at a passport copy and trying to figure out whether it's a fraudulent document or not. Stage two, where we are at right now, you have software which can, you just upload the passport copy. It performs a likeness test and it gives humans data points to make decisions. Is this good enough to go or not? AI is the next step. It can automate this in a way so that no human is involved either in processing or in decision making. So you just put that in, and the whole process is done end to end without any human intervention. And this is what I are called vertical agents. You must have heard of them.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. That's a very fascinating perspective, Rohit. So, while AI makes life more convenient, there are also potential challenges for society to address. Moving on to something quite interesting, vertical agents, like you mentioned. We hear this term
Mhm.
quite often in tech discussions, but I believe many of us don't fully understand what it means. Could you explain what vertical agents are and how they are directly challenging traditional SaaS models?
That's a good question, actually, because a lot of people, there's a lot of terminology floating around. It sounds very fantastic, but you just have got to break it down and understand what it is. So let's look at SaaS. Again, before SaaS, after SaaS, you had back in the day. I don't know how back in the day it is, maybe 25 years, where you bought a computer, you loaded software onto it using a CD or a floppy drive, and mostly not connected to the internet at that time. You're just working on some programs. Even if you connected to the internet, that software you purchased it. Next version comes out, you got to purchase it again or something of that sort. Now, SaaS helped you to expand your horizon there because now it's software as a service. You pay on a monthly basis. All the updates happen automatically. You're able to access it via the browser. You don't need to really load it onto anything. Pay as you go kind of a model, right? Now, to understand vertical agents, we got to understand how we do work. Now, everything we do can be broken down into simple steps, and the way we go about it becomes a workflow. So I was talking about this in the morning to our staff, and we're trying to figure out a process for making an SPV, for instance, and then we break it down into maybe 25 steps, and then it becomes a workflow from start to finish. So SaaS helps us to manage some of these aspects of these workflows. So, for instance, CRM helps us to get customer data. Compliance software helps us to understand compliance side of things, do compliance checks and things like that. Asana work helps us to project manage and things like that. So SaaS is there. Now, what AI
Mhm.
agents do is they manage end-to-end workflow handling. So they're just not managing or just not helping with individual tasks. They're managing entire processes. They can take start to finish. All of this can be done automatically, and they learn and improve over time from industry-specific data and from interaction. So they grow. The more interactions they have, the better it becomes. So I would say vertical agents differ from traditional SaaS solutions in the scope of their automation, the impact on labor costs. SaaS is primarily software-based tasks still done by a human. There is human intervention. Vertical AI agents, on the other hand, they automate human tasks, decision making as well. So you can potentially replace entire teams of functions, and that's something which is quite dramatic in itself. Now, let me give you an example. Now, going back to the compliance field, SaaS tools such as digital KYC checker, you have something called World Check, you must have heard of. Things like that make our job easier because we are able to key in data, we're able to find information, and then make decisions on the file, whether we're able to onboard or not. Now, AI agents would be able to automate this whole process end to end. So you have KYC data inputs going in, and the artificial intelligence itself checking, processing, and issuing an OK to board or rejection, as the case may be, which has zero human intervention. So, yes, a lot of potential, but obviously there's going to be downsides as well, wherein you're looking at a lot of teams, large teams by itself, the whole functions going getting replaced by AI.
Wow, that's quite a game changer. The idea of vertical agents disrupting SaaS is something I think many businesses will need to pay close attention to. All right. So now let's talk about the last big question that's always on people's minds when it comes to AI. How far are we, Rohit, realistically, from AI surpassing human intelligence? Is this something that we'll see in our lifetimes?
Depends on how long you live, doesn't it? So,
Right.
yeah, it's a good question because at the end of the day, we want to know whether we're going to be replaced by AI or not. Now,
Hmm.
there are two terms I'd introduce to you. One is called AGI, and the second is called singularity. So, AGI is artificial general intelligence. So whatever AI we talked about, however fantastic it sounds, all of these are called narrow AI. They do something fantastically well, but they've got to be trained on it, using data sets, large amount of data sets, and then they learn as they go. But that's a vertical. Let's think of a human being doing one task or only one set of tasks. Uh, on the other hand, humans, we get up, we brush our teeth, we take a car, we're able to drive, and we're able to make multiple decisions on whether to stop, whether to go, whether to see traffic based on data points, Google Maps, etc., etc. We're able to sit in a meeting, we're able to talk to people, we're able to manage a lot of things where an AI would need a training on each of these aspects, which is really not possible to do it in silos. So AGI means that the AI is able to take on unfamiliar tasks and find solutions without being specifically programmed for them. So that's actual intelligence. It can learn by itself. It can apply that knowledge to future tasks. It matches or surpasses human cognitive capabilities in various domains. So that's when AI becomes as intelligent, if not more intelligent than a human. And the second concept before we go is singularity, wherein it is a future point, maybe let's say in 2050 or maybe a little lesser, wherein the technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible. That's when you have super intelligent AI, which far surpasses human intelligence, doesn't match it, far surpasses it. So that intelligence explosion could lead to dramatic changes in technology, society, human life, some things we can't even imagine today. There's some things you can imagine, and this is something you can't because it's going to be that level of intelligence. So yes, AGI is not as far away. OpenAI has said that they've figured it out. So I'd say 2025, 2026 is when they start claiming that they'd be at AGI. Singularity is around 2040, 2050.
Hmm. That's both exciting and thought provoking. It's incredible to think about how far AI has come and where it's heading. Rohit, this has been such an enlightening conversation. Thank you for sharing your insights and expertise with us today.
Thank you, Bhumika. It's been a pleasure being here, and I look forward to see where this podcast goes.
Absolutely. And that wraps up this episode of 10 Minutes with 10 Leaves. Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us for more engaging conversations and industry insights. Stay curious, stay informed, and we will see you in the next episode. See ya.